Yo, can I get in on this? I want another one, two. One, two. Oh, you thought it was through. This was just one assignment, boo. Judge checking with God, getting next instructions. You need an advocate, reach out, he might be coming.
This young black king needs no introduction. When he shows up, haters hate seeing him coming.
And no, he's not Malcolm, he's not Martin either. He got his own style.
Ja-da-da-ya, we see ya. This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
And when he comes through, you know they coming too. Hey yo, INA, where you at? What it do? They got receipts, they got them files. They gon' investigate an advocate, holding it down.
And when it comes to intel, you know they showing out. You smiling in Jed's face.
Hold up, check that file. Don't run up on them either, they always in the crowd. INA got his back, you don't know when they around.
This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
And then there's Jed's mother, you know she gon' speak. She praying for the people, prophesying what she see.
Jed, God got you covered, he's holding you down. He's showing you his favor, his mercy, his power.
So always stay humble, give God your best. Remember you're a man, ain't no S on your chest. You know where help comes from when you're up or you're down. That crew runs deep, keep the real ones around.
This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
Yeah. That crew runs deep, keep the real ones around. Keep the real ones around. INA runs deep, keep the real ones around.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? This is Investigate and Advocate, where injustice finds no rest. I am your host, Jedediah Brown, and we are back to work. We're getting off of the train of being content creators, and we, as an advocating platform, are getting ready to get back to focusing on and addressing the issues that are affecting these United States of America, and we're going to do it head on. Today, I want to give a shout out to all of our resources, investigative, advocating, and organizing. I want to thank those of you all who are members of my proud family of For the Culture as we continue to grow by the day. I'm your proud commander, and I'm excited because I'm hoping that we were born for the time that we were needed the most. And if there was ever a time to be needed, I think that time is now. Tonight, we're going to have what I will consider to hopefully be a spirited, transparent, honest conversation about what this nation is actually dealing with now as we are on the heels of an assassination of conservative advocate Charlie Kirk. Pictured right here to my right, Charlie Kirk, as you know, has made major headways as it relates to pushing the evangelical Christian message. He has been called by the United States president himself as somewhat of a son figure, and he has had the opportunity to speak to to domestic and foreign leaders about our country, and have spoken to millions of people from campuses to now almost every home in America. Today, we are going to continue the Charlie Kirk conversation. We're going to get down to the bottom of certain aspects of it, and we're going to also hopefully figure out where do we as a nation go from here. Tonight, I wouldn't be able to have that conversation fully if I was to do it by myself. So without any further ado, I want to welcome tonight's guest, which first is going to be Shelby Shell, who is an amazing advocate in the community and also now serves as the National Director of Membership and Employment for Culture, and does a ton of other things in a personal capacity, to which I'm sure we could hear some of that tonight. I also would like to welcome to our stage Stringer Harris, Chicago-based advocate, a gentleman who I actually have had the pleasure of standing side by side in many issues that have affected Chicagoland. He has been an advocate in the city and the state, and one of the most notable things that I saw him do was stand up for Jamil Robeson in the city of Midlothian when he lost his life. But of course, he has a ton of other work that he will also, I'm sure, speak about as he's in this broadcast. We also want to thank none other than Keith Price, obviously made known and infamous during the former administration in Dalton and Thornton Township. But I want you all to remember that I've held him as a personal childhood hero, as one of the first men that I've ever seen stand up for his community, especially dealing with politics on the Southland side. And I am so honored to also serve alongside him in for the culture as the political czar. But he is the host of Political Ties, and I'm sure that we will hear of other things he has going on in the broadcast. Also, we want to bring to the stage none other than somebody I would consider to be somewhat of a big brother. That's Tyrone Muhammad. Tyrone Muhammad has a litness of work that he has done since he has been happy, since he has paid a debt to society, turning that into a movement called ECCSC, X Cons for Community and Social Change. One of the first advocates that I saw in my life mobilize with a mobile patrol and community service throughout the city of Chicago, now running to become the next Illinois senator of the state of Illinois. And then, last but certainly not least, even though we lost Keith, hopefully he'll make it back. On Beyonce's internet, we thank God to have Trish Dances on. Trish Dances is a woman that is extremely vocal about her perspective and views, and she is you can't see her face because she doesn't have the ability to get that camera on, but she is a person that has followed the teachings of Charlie Kirk loosely, and she has done fierce advocacy and work in her local community. And she has a perspective that I want to hear, and obviously all the work she's doing, we'll learn about that today. Everybody, thank you for being here. Let's start with Shelby. No. Let's start with. Can somebody, can you guys take the? There's an echo there somewhere. If you can you turn? I think that's with you, Tyrone. You mind turning that device down because it's echoing on our broadcast. Thank you so much. So let's start off with the conversation of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, obviously, at this point, is a household name as the nation is trying to figure out where we stand and where are we as it relates to what's going on. I'm not going to do too much talking because we want to hear from our panel. And so I'm going to start with Shelby Shell. I look like we're having a little technical difficulty. People might pop in and out, but that's okay. We're going to start with Shelby Shell. You see what's been going on with Charlie Kirk. What is your
Can
perspective?
you hear me, Jed?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. What is your perspective about this whole situation, Shelby, before we break it down?
My thoughts on Charlie Kirk. I will say this. I hear that everybody in the country feels a sense of uh, pride when speaking on him. Some are angry, some are upset.
Can you hear me now?
And me personally, I feel that Charlie, you
Jed.
cannot. I'm sorry, there's a lot of interference going on in the background.
We can hear you, Mohammed. Go ahead. Go ahead, Shelby.
Okay. I feel personally that the country cannot ask me personally as a Black woman to have a lot of sympathy for Charlie when he didn't show a lot of sympathy for me and the people that look like me. I do have sympathy in the fact that I do not condone violence. I do not feel that your opinion should cause you to be killed or murdered. I stand by that. But at the same time, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So unfortunately, his
Amen.
words may have invited a little bit of that, but I do not mourn him in that way.
All right, thank you so much for that. How about you, Stringer? Any sentiment about Charlie Kirk as a person, if you're a follower, anything you want to add to that?
Man, my shit froze.
Yes, you got to unmute, sir. Got to unmute.
I'm sorry. Thank you, first of all, for having me on your platform tonight. Um, as a person who got the opportunity to meet Charlie Kirk personally uh, back in 2019 at his event Turning Point, um, you know, I'll be honest with you. When I got there, it was a little strange. It seemed like it was supposed to be white only pies, if y'all understand what I mean. But after having a conversation with Mr. Kirk, it kind of changed my ideology on him and what he stands for. At the end of the day, people are going to have opinions. Um, Martin had an opinion, Malcolm had an opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have an opinion, and I guess we don't have to agree with it, and that's why this is supposed to be America. That's what I was. It's supposed to be. Hey, you can have your opinion. You can, like you can say whatever you want to say. I don't have to agree with you, and I think that's the biggest thing. People need to understand that a lot of things. Like, I'll be honest with you. Did I agree with everything he said? No, I didn't agree with everything he said. But a lot of things that he said made sense about the black community. And you know,
I can't hear.
we're obviously going to go deeper into maybe some of the things that he said. And like I said, I don't agree with everything that he said, but it was it was a lot of things that I did agree on. And this man, at the end of the day, I was at work, and I was torn again because I actually knew who this guy
What's
guy
good,
was,
though?
and at the end of the day, his wife and his children was in the front row, and I don't care what you're talking about. He never put his hands on nobody. He never insinuated rioting or anything like that. And for him to get his life taken like that was just shocking to me.
Thank you, Stringer. Tyrone Muhammad, Mr. Kirk, are you familiar with him? Were you a follower? Were you not? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, thanks for having us on your platform, Jed. Most definitely, I was familiar with him, met him a few times. So I've actually had a conversation with him. But with that being said, um, I'm not for any violence, especially when it comes to somebody making their opinion or belief system. And I just really think that somebody like myself who gets a lot of death threats because of my belief or my opinion and how I fight for black people, especially the way I have lined up against the the misuse and abuse of our vote by Democratic Party, and then the lack of use or even acknowledgement about the Republican Party. So I get a lot of criticism, and I make no apology for nothing I say. I stand by everything I say. And when you in this game, in this space, when people are broken and people are messed up, you know what you're getting into. So I send my condolences to his family. I disagree with how he was murdered and the way he was murdered because it's a lot of things that I don't believe in, but I would not kill nobody over it. And neither should he have been killed for that. And I guess we'll get deeper into it because at the end of the day, I see I see white men casting out white men, and we so busy focused on that while we dying and casting out each other. So that's my focus.
Mr. Keith Price, thank you for joining us tonight. Do you have a perspective on Charlie Kirk? Were you a follower or not? You have any opinion about him?
And I'm sorry, Trish, you got to mute your. You got to. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That'll be Mr. Price. Do you have any perspective on Mr. Charlie Kirk? Keith?
He always has difficulties.
Mr. Price, you are interrupting the flow here. Do you have, can anybody know sign language? Keith Price, your turn. Any perspective on Charlie Kirk?
Keith has an Apple. He got an Apple phone.
He don't have an Apple though. He don't. If Can't Get Right was a picture, if Can't Get Right was a picture, it's Keith Price. I
Miss,
promise you.
And an Apple phone.
Laura,
Yeah.
it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And it also looks like Trish Daniels' dances is also having some kind of a technical difficulty. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to try to fix that for her. And then we'll have to try to figure out what we can do for Mr. Price. Miss Dances.
Hi, I keep getting cut off. I keep getting kicked off the website. I'm trying. I keep getting kicked off.
Are you on there now?
I was just trying to get back in, and it keeps saying the website crashes on me.
Okay,
so.
You want to turn your video on for me here? Push the video button.
Sure.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Trish Daniels, thank you for joining us. Did you have any perspective on Charlie Kirk?
I do. I would like to speak if you. Thank you. I appreciate everyone who's given their views so far. Charlie was a controversial person, of course. I a lot of things he said. I do believe he was a Christian. As far as myself, the first thing I want to ask everyone is, have they had a DNA test? Because we always fight about color, but to be honest, I have. And, we're all born from just like 3 females. And has anyone on the panel done a DNA test?
Well, right now we're just trying to figure out your perspective on Charlie Kirk. To tell us who.
Charlie Kirk, okay. I think he was a great guy. I think he's going to lead a revival. I think that he was polarizing in great ways. Of course, I say things that are controversial as well. Not everything we say to everybody, everyone's going to like. I hope that good comes from this. That's my hope.
You said you think you said that he's going to lead a revival.
Yes, I hope so. I hope this will lead a revival back to Christ. I think we're all just suffering from an inability to fellowship with each other. And listen, it's a contagion, and Charlie said it himself. The transgender is a contagion, and I believe a lot of what Charlie said because I've experienced it through many different avenues of my experience.
All right, so. and that's fine. We are definitely sharing opinions here today. Mr. Price, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can't figure this out. I can't hear nothing.
Keith Price, your turn. Your turn.
We can hear you, Keith.
We can definitely hear you, Keith. I'm not sure what's happening with you guys' internet. I don't have another device to bring him on like this. Okay, you guys. So what we're going to do now is we'll let Mr. Price work on that. But while we're waiting, I want to play a clip from a preacher who is now going viral. And this preacher has some extremely choice words and a strong opinion about how America should respond to the transition of Charlie Kirk. Viewer discretion advised. Views and opinion expressed is not necessarily that of anybody on this panel or for the culture or investigate and advocate. Those comments are here now. 1 second.
Kirk did not deserve to be assassinated. But I'm overwhelmed seeing the flags of the United States of America at half staff calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist and spent all of his life sowing seeds of division and hate into this land. And hearing people with selective rage who are mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't give a damn about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were shot down in their home tell me I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who had no respect for my own life. I am sorry But there's nowhere in Bible where we are taught to honor evil. And how you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life. I can abhor the violence that took your life, but I don't have to celebrate how you chose to live.
Very, very strong words from the Reverend Alfred. My question to the panel today, I think we start here. My first question today is, should we be seeing Charlie Kirk receive the honors that are typically reserved for a military person or a president as the country is mourning and trying to figure out how they feel about his legacy? Is that right?
Well, I get the first shot at this one. Hey, let me say this to you. Can you hear me, Jed?
Absolutely.
Man, I'm so tired of these hypocrite ass pastors.
16 damn pages open.
I really wish pastors would shut up and separate church and state, because those are political views and
Man, I
that
can't
he's
hear this,
spitting.
man.
And not further, he talking about what the Bible would. The Bible don't promote transgenders. The Bible don't promote homosexuality, Jed. You know what I'm saying? The book, I read the book a million times. It don't do any of the things he talk about, and a lot of the render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's, and Jesus turning over money tables and stuff. What Bible are they following, bro? Because Jesus didn't mess with the scribes, the Pharisees, the Republicans, the Puritans, or whoever it is, Phoenicians, whatever you want to call them. These people are hypocrites. I wish pastors run off in Lake Michigan and drown. Like I really tired of them having opinions, mixing politics with religion. This is what I'm saying. These are not pastors. They are political operatives. They are pushing the politics. Look at our community. Man, we dying every day and they don't line up like that, bro. So I don't want to hear nothing about nothing they
I
got to
can't
say.
hear.
Need to set up, and I know Stringer gonna back me up. I'm done.
All right. So this okay. Anybody else? Should the nation be flying flags at half?
Yeah, I can't hear. I'm gonna just drop out. I don't know why I can't hear.
Should the flag be half mast? Should he be receiving the honors that are reserved for presidents and so?
I honestly, I'll step in. I totally agree with Ty with the with church and religion, and he's sitting there with a church full of people talking about Charlie Kirk and what he stood for and things like that. We all know that church ain't what it used to be. It's not what it used to be. It used to be about saving souls. It used to be about this, and like he said, man, it's more transgender and homosexuals in the church, and we worried about celebrating this man. I don't think anybody said that we had to celebrate Charlie Kirk. That is a personal decision on what you do and how you do it. Nobody's telling you to do that. If you want to celebrate his life, you can. But here's the reality of it, right? Charlie Kirk died in Utah, right? He died in Utah. What was burnt down? What was rioted? What was looted? Like, we got to start putting things in perspective. They had visuals, they had prayers. Like, that's to me, like he said on a podcast maybe like 2 months ago, he said, "What do you want to be remembered for when it's all over?" He stated, "When it's all over?" He said, "Yeah, when it's all over." He said, "My faith. That's what I want to be remembered by. A God fearing man, a husband, a father. That's what he wanted to be remembered by." He wasn't necessarily a politician. He wasn't that. Did he meet world leaders? Absolutely. What they talked about, I don't know. But I feel like for a young man who came from Arlington Heights, right? Illinois, Arlington Heights, went to Willing High School and positioned himself where he positions himself, that's amazing. And once again, we're taking stuff really personal and we're reading more so the headlines of Charlie Kirk instead of actually going into the article. We're actually not reading what Charlie Kirk really stood for in the sense of, was he just down in black people, or was he saying, hey man, we need to be uplifted? When he talked about the 1940s to
Yeah,
where we are now, he was just,
and we're going to get into all of that.
I'm sorry, I was chatting. I
No,
was chatting.
should we as a nation be flying this flag half mast and giving Charlie Kirk, a conservative advocate, where the nation is being or trying to decide where they land? Should he be receiving honors typically reserved for military personnel and presidents? Shelby?
Now, I want to push back on the church aspect that was spoken about earlier. Historically, in Black churches particularly, that was the only way to get messages across. We have always used the church as a political basis to get messages. We started all the way back in slavery, how we helped people get on the Underground Railroad. Um,
I can't
we,
hear.
during the civil rights movement, we use the church to speak on issues and to get the message across. In the 1960s, when Martin Luther King was speaking, it wouldn't have been as powerful if the Black church hadn't come to his defense and stood on business and got us together as a people. Now, with that being said, I can also agree that I don't believe that politics necessarily belongs in the church of today. Um, a lot of politicians are using it as a vehicle for votes. We see politicians come around when it's time for to get our votes and to stomp the ground for
Can't
that.
hear.
But then after that, where are
Mm,
they? They disappear. We never
did
see
that.
them again. So we're being used for
Did
that
everything.
purpose.
Did everything. Can't hear. Can't hear.
I'm so sorry, Shelby. Mr. Price, can you hear me now? There's two key prices on here, and I'm not sure how that has happened.
Just
Can
tell
the
me,
real Keith
I
Price
can't
just
hear,
come
can't hear,
on?
man.
Okay.
like you, Price.
You got me
One is
muted or
strong, but
something, man.
two.
Okay, Mr. Price, thank you for the comic relief in such a serious space, but we we give up. Can you laughing? Can you hear me? You still
I
can't? I
can't
can't.
hear.
Okay, deuces. Look, so we're gonna try this. We're gonna now when I saw somebody in the comments say I see two key prices, and I was like, people just always making it funny. It literally was two key prices. Give me one. Go ahead, Shelby. Finish your statement if you can.
I pretty much covered all the bases that I wanted to talk about in that particular statement that was mentioned by the two gentlemen. I just disagree.
Okay, so I think that my
I
question.
went out. Hey, Jed, I went out. What did she disagree with? The half staff, the half, what was it that she disagreed with? I missed it. I went out.
I basically said that historically, Black churches were a basis for Black people to get their information politically, community wise, and that was always a strong vehicle for us. And we can't neglect that. And
I mean, I agree. I agree with you. I understand the historical nature, but the historical nature, if anybody got the history, will say that we were Republicans, right? If we going by historical stuff, the Republican Party is not the same party for us, and nor is the Democratic Party was the same as how black churches uh, initially joined on. Nothing is the same, sister, and you kind of both and because you mentioned that yeah, you don't think that churches should be because the churches are the biggest 501c3 pimps in our communities. It's 50,000 churches or more in Chicago, and we look our communities look like they look. So when you say should they get an honor, I think the man in the 31 years that this guy was in see, I don't think we ever honor um respect organization because we don't have an organized front in our communities. For that young man, he not organizing old people. This man was organizing young people on college campuses, learning institutions, right? Learning institutions, and even the church don't have young people coming to the church.
Yeah, but
The the
but
the
ladies and
level.
gentlemen, I want to get into all of that. We're going to get to we're gonna
I
get
do.
to
Should he
the-
be flying half staff jet? Yes. The president could do what he want to do. He was selected to do what I think that the man is the reason the man helped him get in office. Let's keep it 100. That's his prerogative to do that, I think. And
okay,
we always talking about what we shouldn't do and can't do, but yet we give billions of dollars to non-citizens, yet we don't have money for nothing.
okay. Well,
So we do what we want to do, clearly.
Keith Price, I'm assuming that we now can see and hear you. Is that correct? You see me and hear me?
I definitely can see. Well, I don't see you. Your camera off. I see the lady with the cowgirl hat on, and so I'm here.
Yeah, you're and the people.
I see you too.
The viewers can see you as well. Finally, great. So now you can finally contribute. Welcome to the conversation. Should Charlie Kirk be receiving the honors typically reserved for servicemen, with the flags being at half mast and things that are being considered like him lying in state? Are those things proper with the divide that's going on in the country?
If regardless of the divide or not, if you like them or not, I think that flags being flown at half staff have a certain meaning, and I think those meanings should be stuck with. As far as him lying in state, I don't see really anything wrong with that. I guess that's up to what they're doing or how they want to do it. We do know that he was pretty close to the now president. So I guess if the president wanted to make that call, he can. But other than that, yeah. I mean, I think flying is it a tragedy? It's an assassination. So I would have had to look more into that. Other than that, I really don't. I don't care either way about the flag, the flag being half staff or not.
Wow. Trish, any perspective?
I would have to do research on what was appropriate to. I feel like our president, if he decided to do that, the majority of Americans did vote him president, so he might feel the majority of Americans would like him to do that. Hopefully he's thinking about the country as a whole, not just himself. I mean, I know he was very, very close with Charlie. He considered Charlie a son. They talked every day from what I understood, or, not every day, but quite often. I think a lot of Americans are mourning Charlie. So yes, I believe in the half mast. If people want to do it, I have a flag flying here. I even thought how I could fly at half mast. I don't know if I could figure that out. Yeah, I think it's okay. And what was the other question? Lying in state. I'd be curious. Isn't this the first time in American history where, because of social media, we were able to, get to know people like we know them? I mean, I know I've been crying for Charlie. I mean, when someone passes that shouldn't have, you do feel something. So I'd be curious to see how it could work out, how many Americans would actually go to Washington and pass by Charlie. So I think it should be a social experiment. Let's do it.
Interesting. And so there's another guest that's not on here. It would have balanced it out of 3 women and 3 men. But it's time to get into the nitty gritty of it. And everybody is not necessarily going to get the answer. And I'm asking for all of us not to overtalk each other. And let's just respect the differences of opinions. I'm going to do my best to keep my face as poker as possible. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that we give everybody an opportunity to talk. But I'm going to be honest, this is already, I think, an intense conversation. So I think the question that I want to ask those of you on here, though, everybody seems to have their different opinion. I love that. But here's the question. Everybody is trying to figure out this one question. Was Charlie Kirk a racist? The racist definition is characterized by showing prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized as an adjective. A person who is prejudiced or antagonistic towards people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. Panel, was Charlie Kirk by definition a racist?
You sound like
Yes.
to me you just named how I've been historically treated by my own community, the Boule class. So I don't know what you talk. I'm trying to understand. It's just saying it got to be the color because I think we the most racist to each other than anything. I'm talking about class. Are you talking about color? Are you talking about class?
Well, I'm asking, was Charlie Kirk racist? And if that is a larger conversation, then
And that's what I'm saying. I don't. I mean, he seemed like typical what I see every day.
Well, he said that he felt that Black women were unintelligent and we weren't smart enough and we shouldn't even be considered. So, for somebody to say that as a broad brushstroke against Black women, I personally have a problem with that.
I'm
So,
saying,
yes, he was racist from that
I'm
standpoint.
saying,
Some of the statistics and some of the focuses,
what was the
the
rest of that
context.
content?
I'm tired of all the other. What
it
these
doesn't even matter about the context. If
It
you say
does.
that me as
That's
a
the
Black
part.
Woman,
It
let's be
absolutely
wait,
does
it
let's
does
because
no,
you
it
not.
does
can't
not.
take a
If
you
you
can't
say
take a
me as a
snippet.
general
hold
If
on.
you say as a
First of
general
all,
broad statement that all Black women are unintelligent,
one second.
then that
I
is
heard
a racist statement.
Panel, please hold on. Let me say this. Every single one of you all are respected by a certain demographic of people. You all are the front lines of your communities and in our society. So be very conscious about what we're saying
listen.
and let's how we're saying it. Let's respect each other.
Let,
So
let me say this. Anything by you saying
hold
anything ill
on,
about
let me
Black
let me
women,
let me,
bro.
let me moderate because I
All right,
can't
go
I
ahead.
can't talk.
Go
Let me
ahead.
moderate. I'm gonna ask you, Key, was Charlie Kirk by definition and your view of what you learned, was he a racist?
Did you say Keith?
Yes.
I personally, I'm interested in what Shell was talking about, but I never heard that. So I don't know the whole context of that. But I never really looked at the guy like a racist. I looked at him as somebody who uh, told us some things that we probably wouldn't like hearing from a white guy and would have took it better for a Black guy.
Okay, do me a favor, and somebody block Beth McBride off of this page. Now, I'm all for freedom of speech, but you're not welcomed over here, especially not advertising for someone that is doing the things that this gentleman is doing. We're not advertising anybody else's platforms over here like that. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a host, and I'm trying to be focused, but you need to go ahead and find you somewhere that's more palatable for what you prefer. Don't do that today. I am not for it. Let's give Beth McBride block. She is not welcome over here on this platform. Let's keep going.
Now I know that his organization, the Turning Point, was noticed sometimes for like hostile atmosphere towards blacks or people of color, whichever way you might want to put it. But overall, I thought he was saying things that would have been accepted a lot easier if it was a black person saying it instead of a white guy.
Shelby, was he racist?
I said it. He was the statements that he made about Black women. He said that the Civil Rights Act should have never taken place. And some of his statistics, unfortunately, in this day of media, in our media world, we do not take the time out to research and look on our own. A lot of his statistics were not true or misconstrued, or they were changed in a way to make it sound like Black people are always this, that, and the third. I can always stand behind facts. But when you're speaking on facts as an affront to a community, I have a problem with that.
Was he racist, Trish Daniels? Dances.
I agree with the gentleman previously. Kiki, is it? Kiki?
Yeah, I like Kiki. Kiki works. Kiki works. Go ahead.
You would like Kiki. That's for another topic.
It's KP?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. KP.
So KP. I agree with KP. I think he probably said some things.
Shots fired. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Shots fired. It was a shot taken at the host. I had to really compose myself. Please go ahead, Tris. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think, yeah, I think that, you know, we tend as humans not to want to hear the hard stuff. And I think also I always have and I just said it, the word always, and I always, or he always. I think we don't always do everything, you know, the right way. So what I'm trying to say is everyone's not just one way all the time. You know, he could have been racist. He could have said some things that could be misconstrued as racist, but was he antagonistic about it? That's what you said. You know, I use that word, that word antagonistic stood out to me in the definition. So my question back was, I don't think he was antagonistic about it. I think he had a lot of energy behind his speeches. I would have to go back as far as statistics to know if he was always using the wrong statistics. I would have to do my own research. So I would say he's not racist.
Say he's not racist. Okay, we're gonna go to Mr. Stringer. Same question right after I play this clip of Mr. Kirk speaking himself.
Now, were they trying to hijack her? Were these blacks trying to go rob her? Happening all the time in urban America. Prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact. It's happening more and more.
Reported by The Guardian, as you see, Mr. Stringer Harris, a statement, probably one of the ones that would be isolated. Not, of course, we don't have full context.
I didn't even hear it. I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody else heard it, but I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. Whatever you just played, I didn't hear it. I don't know if anybody else
Did
heard
anybody
it.
hear it?
I heard it.
Y'all heard it?
I heard a little bit of it.
Okay, I'm going to replay that. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just try to replay it. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, I got to rewind this. Are you able to hear now? And I'm going to push play now.
Now, were they trying to hijack her? Were these blacks trying to go rob her? Happening all the time in urban America. Prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact. It's happening more and more.
Did you hear it?
I heard it. Okay, so where's the lies detected? I'm just like once. Oh my God! Once again, I think it goes back to maybe if some.
Are black people on the prowl targeting white people more and more in America?
And why shouldn't they? And why shouldn't they? And see, this is why I don't play with y'all or nobody out there in the world. We act crazy. Something wrong with us. It's okay for poor black brothers to rob and practice with poor black people, right? So if I'm gonna rob somebody, I'm robbing them in affluent neighborhoods. That is not no anomaly. Like I just discovered something. If you're gonna practice, why you gonna practice robbing some broke people in the hood when you can go where you know some goals, some pains, some probably some good credit cards is in the white neighborhood. It makes no sense, and that's the problem with white America because they think they can't suffer violence anywhere. It's violence everywhere. How many times y'all hear me say that? They think they can watch black people become victimized all day long, but as soon as black men come out to rob them, I would encourage rather. Why would you keep targeting grandmama, auntie, and our black women when you can go out there and rob because you're getting the same crime? You're getting the same. The statue covers the time, covers the same crime. At least then you won't be just practicing in the hood. You'll actually probably come up on something. See, you can't if you don't deal with the socioeconomic aspect of what we're dealing with in our community. Even robbing people is a job. See, y'all they don't want to tell the truth. Everybody want to act like they guys just up and coming and robbing.
Hold on, hold on. You. I don't want to be the host anymore. I need to talk. I need to talk.
I know you don't. You listen.
Candidate,
I want to finish this stage, host.
hold on. I'm so sorry to
Listen, I just want to say, who should they rob? Poe Inglewood, or should they be robbing downtown Chicago?
Okay, but Shelby, is this comment coming from
It's not racist.
conservative host? Is this a racist comment? God, this is hard.
It's
You've
not.
asked me, and I've said it. It is.
What? Robbing white people?
But first of all, if we're statistically only 13% of the population, how are we all of a sudden doing all the robbing in the world? It's not even mathematically possible. White people rob white people. Chinese people rob Chinese people. Everybody robbing everybody. Everybody broke today. Are we not? Are we not struggling right now?
Black people going to white people. White people don't come and rob poor black people.
Okay.
They don't. It don't.
You are
don't
moving
happen.
the goalposts,
It
sir.
happen that. Please explain that to me. Maybe I'm slow.
Okay, hold on. Oh, this is so hard. I did not realize how hard this is going to be. I don't want to be the host, bro. Okay, so Stringer, like, give me your perspective of this conversation. Is this a racist statement?
I'll be honest with you. I can't answer that question. You gave me a clip. I don't do clips. That's the problem with us now. That is a clip. That's a clip. If anybody in the world hears that clip, they're like, oh my God. I won't do that. Once again, I'm not subjective to that right there. I'm super object. That's a clip. It's a 7-second clip, and you want me to base or tell you if he's racist from a 7-second clip? What happened before that? What did he say after that? That's where I base my opinion at. I'm sorry, I can't tell you from that clip.
So if it's a clip and he talked about women like Beyonce and Michelle Obama not having the brain processing power and had to take a white person spot Mr. Price, was that a clip? Is that because we've not seen the whole context? Does that statement matter or no?
Well, I didn't hear him say anything about Beyonce except for that her music. He didn't like her music.
Maybe I'm getting the names wrong, but he spoke about black women not having the brain processing power and having to take a white person's spot to be taken serious. If it's a clip, does that matter or not?
Well, I definitely disagree with black women having lack of knowledge and brain processing power. Some of these things could be a matter of his opinion. I don't agree with that. I think the black woman is some of the most powerful minds in America, and history would probably prove that. I can't just call somebody a racist because they may say something. Hell, we the most racist people to our people in the world. We hate on black people more than any other race, I think, in the world. Attack each other more than any other race attacks us. So, it's always hard. I've always said that most races will never respect us because our race as a whole doesn't respect themselves. If you're not respecting your own people, how will anybody else fall into that category of, oh, we're going to respect them, but we're running around and killing each other daily, like it's Grand Theft Auto. And even to that other clip, for years, people used to say in the hoods, why y'all robbing the neighborhood? Everybody in the neighborhood don't have anything. Why don't y'all go downtown? Why don't y'all go out in the rich white neighborhoods and go rob them? And if that's what they're focusing on, I guess they was up in their game. But I can't say that that's not a true statement. A lot of people started focusing on the more affluent community.
Church Daniels, please pause for a second. I want to play that clip, and it is the credit of the Gordon Ramsay clips. This is one of those soundbite moments.
And Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
Church Daniels, are there white people slots? Is this comment racist? This soundbite.
Are you asking? I didn't get a chance to answer.
Yeah, we're asking you. Is this a racist comment? Do you feel that, is there a brain processing power that women have or do not have? Are there white people slots? Is this comment racist?
I think DEI has done a real number on our country. I think that just inherently it's painted the Black community as less than, because when you have a rule that props up one, you know, if I have a litter of dogs, and I don't want to say, I'm just using an analogy. If I have a litter of anything, you know, the weak one I'm going to prop up because I see it's weak, you know? And I don't feel that Black people need that. You guys are intelligent. I'm listening to the panel here. You're very intelligent. I've worked under Black managers in a bank. I was head teller and she was the manager of the bank. Very intelligent, and that's why I think DEI needs to change. Everyone needs to go everywhere on their merit, regardless of skin, creed, color, whatever it is. It could, like these gentlemen have said, anything could be misconstrued as any way you want, just depending on your experience and where you come from. So that's my answer.
Shelby, those same question as a Black woman. Is there a brain processing power? Are there white slots? Was that comment racist?
Yes, that comment was racist. And I, as an intelligent Black woman on this panel, an educated woman, a Black woman that comes from an educated woman and a line of educated Black women, that is racist. And we're not taking
I'm sorry.
white.
Is that just me where it's breaking up? Or is anybody else breaking up? I'm sorry, Shelby.
Am I breaking up?
No.
Okay, go ahead. It's me.
But I take offense to that. And no, we're not taking white people slots. And I'll go back to, again, the 13%. We make 13% of the United States. And the reason why those laws were enacted were because we were not given opportunities on purpose. There's always been a certain kind of, Jed mentioned it earlier, like a white DEI, because if your father was in that company, or if somebody knew somebody, or if they had a choice, that was always the pick. We were just creating that so that we can be on a level playing field, so that we can get an opportunity to get into the rooms that we deserve to be in, so that we can prove ourselves. That's all that was really asking for. I would also like to mention that DEI actually benefited white women more than Black women, because DEI specifically speaks to gender, race, equivalency, and white women are the ones that benefited from it the most, even beyond Black women like myself. And I have to work twice as hard to get half as far in this society, and that's only fair.
Do you, as Black men, because I see a interesting setup here, does anybody that is on any of the Black men on here, do you feel that DEI is a harmful or racist policy?
Do I think it was a racist policy? First, you got to it was white women. It was I think then I don't remember the exact order. I remember white women was first. I think it was white men. Then it was the LGBTQ community, and blacks were actually last. When I originally researched it, when it first came up and became a hot topic. So it could have been actually put in to help more white women get jobs. The people that benefited the most from DEI was not black people. We were actually the last ones to benefit from that the most, from all the stats that I originally looked at. And it was supposed to help with allowing people to get a chance and be seen and, you know, flex their skill set or give that opportunity that they may not have been able to get. But I still think it catered more towards white women, white men in the LGBT community, beside more than black people as a whole.
So if DEI, Jed, if like Sister Shelby said, like some things don't, they may start a certain way, and they never, the results never serve the purpose that they started. Right? I mean, the end results never get there. So we talking about DEI, but scientifically, mathematically, economically, and socially, we know that it didn't serve us. So what are we arguing about? If somebody say DEI don't work, who are we arguing with or about if it didn't serve us? I'm not understanding this. So black men show didn't get none of it. So black women, you happy for DEI while your black men are getting graveyards and prisons. I'm trying to understand the logic around fighting for DEI and it doesn't serve our community as Brother Keith just expressed in terms of statistics. So I don't be understanding the conversation and the arguments around some garbage. So when somebody poses a question, it's like we hold on to failing programs and failing ideas, even when they don't serve us. And then you want me to be stupid and sit like I'm unintelligent and not to see the facts and statistics. We not crazy. Somebody else is.
So here's a question, and I think I'm going to ask you all this, and you guys have fulfilled the humble ask of you all to be on our panel tonight. For me, I'm going to switch gears in a second, but I'm going to ask this really quickly. Stringer, are you a Republican, Democrat, Independent, and are you proud of your party?
I'm proud to vote for whoever I like. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not. I vote for when it's time to vote. I might go Democrat for this. I might go Republican for this. I might go Independent for that. So I don't base my statute as far as Republican or Democrat. But I do remember as people want to talk about histories, like Ty said, we was once Republicans. So if we talking about history.
Keith Price, Republican, Democrat, Independent, and are you proud of your party?
Actually, I prefer nonpartisan. I'm pretty much like Stringer. I vote for people, not parties. I vote for the person who I feel will be the best at the job, even if I don't particularly have a certain type of relationship with that person. If I think that person is going to be the one that serves the community the best, that's the one I'm going to vote for. I don't care if they're Democrat. I don't care if they're Republican. I don't care if they're an independent. I don't care if they're green. I don't care if they're libertarian. I'm going to vote for a person I feel who will do the best job for the masses of the people. And to touch on what Stringer said, and when we say, I'm going to answer your question when it comes to, am I proud of the party? In our community, everyone votes blindly for Democrats. They don't care. If you got a D behind your name, in our community, you have a greater chance of winning than having an R or I behind your name. People often ask me, Jed, why do I always get on the Democrats, or why do I always dog out the Democrats? Well, I haven't had any Republicans running my community where I live. So Why would I dog out the Republicans for the problems that Harvey is having or for the problems that the South suburbs are having when it's only been Democrats running these communities? So I'm not proud of the Democratic Party as a whole. Are there some people in the Democratic Party that I'm pretty proud of? Yes. But as a whole, as of when I look out and ride around the communities in the South suburbs, no, I am not proud of the Democratic Party. And I think they're failing our communities. And the last thing I want to touch on is, like Brother Stringer said, the Democrats didn't even want black people originally. Most black people were Republicans. Most of the people in, I can't think of the name, the community that they burned down where all the black people had their own stuff. Most of those blacks were
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Most of those people were Republicans, bro. So I never really.
Okay. Well, pause, because I'm looking at the time here. Trish Daniels, Republican, Democrat, Independent, and are you proud of your party? Proud of your party?
Me? Are you talking me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I never hear when you say my name. I'm independent. My family has historically, I'm from Flint, for God's sakes. Sitting here now watching the destruction of the Democratic Party in this city. My parents were Democrat, part of the unions. This town's Uniontown. I'm independent, and I didn't sign up to vote until I was 34 years old. And the only reason I signed up to vote was because I bought a house. And I think that's part of the process. I'm not quite sure. But I've voted on both sides. I'm not proud of I wish the Democrat, I've lived in the thing is I live in two states, and Florida is a Republican state, but I live in a Democratic county, and then Michigan just flipped red, but I still live in a blue county. Genesee County is blue. It's one of the 9 counties in Michigan that did not flip red. So, it's just been run into the ground. I own property here, and I get to see the differences in the government's handling of just normal things, that they put residents through. It's much easier in Florida. That's all I got to say. Shell,
Democrat, Republican, Independent, and are you proud of the party?
I am a strong Democrat. I'm probably the farthest left-leaning person on this panel. Am I always proud of them? No. I don't think anybody, if they're honest, is completely proud of their party, because no one can necessarily agree with every single thing. And I also feel like I'm not going to give up on my party. I can be strong within and fight for the things that I believe in. But I do feel that Democrats have a messaging problem. I feel that they have a lot of issues. And before I get on to that, I definitely want to give everybody kind of a history lesson, because we keep touching on Black people used to be Republicans, and that is correct, but factually incorrect at the same time. When Black people were released from slavery, we were Republicans because we were giving honor to Abraham Lincoln for freeing us. At that time, the true Democratic Party was separate, and they were called the Dixiecrats. The Dixiecrats were technically the Republicans of today. They were very they were for slavery. They did not want us to have civil rights. They wanted us to not be equal. So when the Democratic Party decided that they wanted to side with us and give us civil rights, they wanted to side with unions and make sure that Black people got opportunities within unions to get jobs, there was that mass exodus to the North to get those jobs. And as a result, and as a thank you, Black people started to switch to the Democratic Party and to vote along those specific lines. The Republicans of today that were the Dixiecrats were upset, and they decided to go with the Republican Party because they were for slavery and against civil rights. So that's where the true divide breaks down. So to say that loosely we were Republicans is not necessarily completely factual and truthful in terms of voting for specifics. We were not voting for racism within our own group. We were voting with people who were going to give us jobs, representation, and to move forward in society, in a free society, and they were offering us that at the time.
You saying that
Hey, hold on
Republicans
now,
offered
y'all.
us?
Hold on. She ain't get on
You
y'all when
saying that
y'all.
Republicans
Hold
offered that at the
hold
time?
on. But we didn't get on.
No, I said Democrats
Panel,
offered it
please,
at the
please.
time.
Panel, please. Tyrone Muhammad, obviously running for United States Senate. You've decided to do this as an independent, but have you historically been Republican, Democrat, Independent, and are you proud of your party?
I've voted mostly Democrat all my life, and I'm not proud of neither party. Most definitely, I'm not proud of the Democratic Party. Anybody can walk, and I push as an independent because I don't want them to ever think, no matter what you think or they think, to be able to think they have a monopoly to keep fucking us over. And if we're gonna keep on allowing that, we are never gonna fix them. They don't feel a need to change. They don't feel a need to do anything different because if we have our beautiful sister Shelby gonna vote Democrat no matter what, and because they proud. Anybody proud of a party proud of the Democrats. When I walk out in Lawndale, Woodlawn, Austin, Roseland, and like Keith say, Harvey and all these communities. When I go to Baltimore, I go to St. Louis. A lot of them places in the counties and towns are ran by Democrats while pointing at Republicans. You can have historically in Chicago, Illinois has the highest black elected officials per capita, highest black leadership, and our communities look the way they do. So I'm running as an independent to disrupt that crap. Win, lose, or draw, I win. Because ultimately, just like with Charlie Kirk, they just made 1,000 more, 1,000,000 more Charlie Kirks by mother. And all I hear them do every day is talk about Trump, and all this different stuff, and that hurts them ultimately. So, with that being said, man, I am running as an independent, but I'm proud to be free and proud to be a free thinker to vote wherever I want to because I'm free to do so.
This has been an extremely, and I don't know if you guys agree with this on the comment side, but if you've enjoyed this discussion, could you all put a 5 in the chat for me, just so I can kind of know if you did not enjoy it, that I want you all to put a 1 in the chat for me. It's been very colorful, very spirited. I'm asking if every one of you all, if you don't mind, would give me. We lost Tyrone again. Oh no, we did. I'm asking for those of you all that are. What the hell? Wait. What did I do? What did I do? I messed up. And I don't know how I did that. What did I do?
Yeah,
I just
can you hear
messed.
me?
I just
Yeah.
pushed some button and it destroyed my whole screen.
I never
You
got
still
a.
live.
I'm scared to push the button. I don't know what I did.
It all still looks the same.
It all still looks the same. Okay, give me 1 second, you guys, because what did I do? Wait. Okay, there it is. It's back. All right, I figured it out. Okay, so Trish, did you do? Oh, you got on here. Could you go to what I was
Yeah,
it?
but I didn't get a number from you, so I don't know where you wanted
It's
me to.
inside of the messenger. But if you can hear us, then you're fine. You're fine right here.
I can hear you fine now, as long as it doesn't kick me off.
Okay, so if you've enjoyed it, it looks like we got a lot of 5s here, y'all. A lot of the people in this nation, but there's an echo, Trish. I don't know if you can like stop that for me. But a lot of the people in the nation are really, really in this uncertain space, really from the conversation. Mr. Price, can you hear me clearly? You can hear me clearly, good, and we can hear you as well. So what we're going to do for the last 15 minutes is we're going to open the phone lines, and I'm going to try my best to try to keep it under. Trish, I'm going to let the people in the comment section get on the phone and um, interact with our panel. But then I'm also going to ask you all to do something for me. All of these people that are on the screen are advocates of some sort in their own lane. And I am asking for you all to consider helping me, Jedediah, and for the culture INA, be a contributor to them in the individual working capacity. I tried to get all of their designations. Some of them did not have them, but I have every last one of them personal contact. I will definitely transparently tell you in real time, but I'm asking for this chat to help me to garner $250 because we're going to give every one of these panelists $50 for their time because they stepped away from their work, stepped away from their campaigns to be with us today. And I don't care about what haters say. It takes resources, and where your heart is, your treasure is also. And I know this for a fact that when people are on the front line and when they're working, they're often asked to do all the work, but nobody wants to ever help them meet the need to do it. And today we're going to set the standard for this broadcast. We take care of our own. And so the way you can do that, you can contribute in one of those ways listed below. I will tell you in real time when we have $250, we're going to transfer it over to them. You're going to see them get it before they get off the dang on screen because ain't nobody going to have nothing to say. And it's not $300 because I'm not asking for anything. And so with that being said, you also can call in at 319-527-2093 and you can speak to our panelists. And none of them knew that I was going to do that. None of them required an honorarium. I thank every single one of you all for your time today. Okay. And so so Esther gave $15. So I'm gonna do it based on who I like the most. Shelby, you're gonna get the first 50. Okay, so with that being said, it's coming directly to you, Shelby. You held your own today. The panel was supposed to be balanced, but I really feel like, oh, you was on the island. Even though I agree with parts and points on both sides. Again, 319-527-2093. Call in to the greatest podcast on the internet right now, and you can speak to our panel. Please be respectful. We will allow people to have difference of opinion.
Yeah, let me point out something real quick while you
Now,
waiting
I
on.
will say this too. Oh,
Hold
I'm
on.
sorry.
Hold on 1 second. 7581. Who are you?
I called in.
Okay, that's Trish. All right. Carol Muhammad, then Shelby, then to the next
I
caller.
just want to say to Shelby's point about messaging. As you can see, Democrat will continue to lose black men because they never speak to our issue. And she talked about the messaging, and even when you just made alluded to, she was on the island. Not that we want our sister on the island, but we actually have a difference of opinion. Most black men in black communities have always been conservative in our thinking process in terms of family, taking care of our own community, having strong and dealing with our own children and issues and all of that. We black men have always pretty much been conservative in our thinking process because we never hear them talking about our prostate issues, right? They never talk about our unemployment. I mean, the rate, the dropout rate of black men, college. They never talk about economic opportunities and training of black men and boys. They're not talking about these things. They're not talking about how we still the most 13%, as the sisters say, but we the most 75 something like that percent of the prison population. We black men die more than any other group of person. Democrats don't even know how to talk to us. That's the messaging right there. What do we care about gender and all of this other crap when black men can't even take care of their own children and have jobs, and women are always the head of the household in most of our houses? That don't ever gonna fly, and you'll never fix that without fixing it.
Absolutely, and I hate it's gonna be a little weird how I have to do this, but Shelby, thanks to Esther and Darkest, you just got $50. Thank you so much for your time and your
Thank
contribution
you, ladies. Thank you, everybody.
to the conversation.
But I do want to cut in and say this really quick. Conversations like this need to be had. And even though we have a difference of opinion, I highly respect the brothers that are on this panel with me today. And I told them that specifically before we even got on. I follow both of them on the internet. I have spoken to them. I have love for all of them. We can calmly disagree and have difference of opinion, but that doesn't mean that we are less than or we're not rooting for each other. Let's get that clear. I will always stand up and root for my black brothers at the end of the day and anybody else that looks like me and anybody else that don't. But if we don't have conversations and come to the middle and have conversations and agree to disagree calmly without shooting people in the neck, that's what we need to get to.
I love this panel. Y'all did this right today. Let's get a caller in 9591. Welcome to the call. You all on here with some of the greatest advocates that I know. You got the floor.
Well, I just have a couple questions or responses. One, I guess I'm torn, not necessarily torn. I'm down the middle, right? So there are great points that Shelby brought up that I absolutely understand and stand with her 10 toes down. And then there are points that the gentleman brought up that I absolutely stand 10 toes down with them. So I guess my question is, how do we bridge that gap to come to a medium to where this thing begins to turn around and work for everyone? And then the second part of it is because our Democrats, not all of them, we're really mainly focused on the ones in Illinois because we don't really see what's going on in other states. How do we hold Democrats accountable as a party when it's not all of them? I think about the young lady that was in, Jesus, I forgot her name. She ran for governor over in, what was her name? I don't know. I forgot her name. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the chat. But who's doing what she needs to do under the Democratic umbrella, who is absolutely phenomenal. We can't hold her accountable for the lack of in Illinois. So how do we get our party, instead of throwing them away, what do we do to get them to hear us and to begin to bridge that gap before they lose us? Because ultimately, if they do not change, it will be a loss. Because I'm at a point where I vote for both sides. I vote for the best interest of my household. So I guess that's a twofold question.
Yeah, that was a long question. Anybody want to add? Try to tackle it?
Well, I like what she said. You know, you talking about the party. I have a lot of friends and a Democrat that is elected officials that I think are doing a great job. But when they go to caucus, they can't even come together and come out of the Black Caucus and do anything for us collectively. And I have guys that's Republicans that when you sit with them and talk to them, their values lined up a lot with ours in these communities. But at the end of the day, bro, it's like anything. You say that no, you can't hold them all accountable. That's like me, Jed. I was a gangbanger GD doing shooting and doing stuff. Not Larry Hoover. Now in fact told us don't do it. And then here we are. We're gonna hold. You say it. I guess it only applies in politics, not in life, right? That you hold they don't really believe in that. So if you got bad members in your organization, then the organization is bad, Jed. If you got bad people in your organization, Jed, bringing your organization down and making it impossible for people to be happy with it, you got to get rid of them. We continue to vote over and over. Look at all these old Democrats in office with all these old ideas. It is the party. The progressive people don't ever vote because the first thing they say, we're not a senior leader. I'm not a senior member, so I can't really do nothing. How many times y'all heard them say that? So we get people in these positions perpetually and they stay there forever when they should be removed because they have no new progressive ideas on how to move the country forward. And the country is increasingly in the middle, Jed. It's coming to the middle. So if you're holding all the way left or if you're holding all the way right, you're really not respecting people's values and wishes and where they take it. They're asking you to take them. It's not about what you want to do as a politician. It's about the landscape of what the people is asking you to do. And if you're not following that, then your party is going to continue to die.
Did that answer your call? I mean, your question?
Well, I'll take that. I guess I'm still considering how do we bridge this gap amongst all sides? And I guess that's going to be something that's going to continue to be ongoing.
We'll get an answer for you.
Conversations like this.
Thank you for calling in. It is definitely conversations like this because this actually challenged my critical thinking. Again, you can call in at 319-527-2093. Express yourself or actually engage this panel or ask some questions. We would like to hear from the public today. I also want to be clear. We're doing two things simultaneously. Yashonda, Stanley, and James. Thank you so much because we now have what we need to be a blessing to Trish. We're going to give her $50. And now the next $50 that we are getting is going to go to Stringer Harris. So make sure that you're contributing one of those ways listed below. 319-527-2093. Jedediah, why are you getting money while you're doing this? Because, again, we always want to have people to show up and do, but we don't always want to do for them or help them to do it. A lot of these people have done work and they've done it without the resources to do it. I'm done with that. I've experienced that my whole life. I would never disrespect their time. And if somebody here spoke to you, one of the greatest ways that you can let them know you appreciate them is to sow into their work, even if you're sowing into their lives. And so we're going to do that before we get off of this live stream. Trish, we got what we need for you. Can you hear me, Trish?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Stanley, Yashonda, and James blessed you today. And now we're going to be giving something to Stringer with the next people who contribute. My question that I think I should ask, I want to ask every single one of you all is, we're all advocates. We're all advocates and we all have our own lane. In the wake of this assassination, has it put you all in any fear for your safety or any changing of how you are operating in your normal day-to-day lives?
Go ahead. Whoever wants to go
Keep,
first. I don't even know if y'all.
just keep talking. What? Can you hear me, Jed?
Okay, Trish, go ahead, Trish. We can hear you, Trish.
Okay. I had a profound impact on me, and I'm here in Flint, and I'm seeing, and if we're talking about that community, I'm seeing young men standing around. There was a group of them standing around at the Marathon gas station. They don't have anything to do, but I did ask them, "Have you all heard of Charlie Kirk?" And the older boys said, the three younger boys looked at the older boy, he was the leader, and they said, "Did we?" And the guy, the older kid said, yes, we heard of Charlie Kirk. So I just want to spread the word. I want people to have activism no matter what their beliefs are. And I mean, obviously, positively, my activism is cleaning. That's how I met each other. So, yes.
Okay, go ahead, Keith.
So, for me, it was just really a reality check. A throwback, if you will. Brother Malcolm, Martin, Kennedy. It's sad that anytime someone has matter of fact, I just text Shelby. It's sad that it would come to that over a matter of opinions. Most of us on this call have disagreed about certain topics, but I've never wanted to harm anyone on this call because we might disagree. I mean, I respect people's decision and come to their decisions based off things that they've been through But for that type of reality check, even for brothers like Straight, Brother Muhammad, and yourself, Jed, who's out there on that front line a lot, I think it's just a reality check that it could be a nutball out there, man, that just might take one of us out. Even me, I'm controversial. I don't try to be. I just speak my mind and how I feel. But it was really just a reality check that, you know, because of your opinions and because someone may disagree with you, some people out there will take it to the extreme and try to kill you because they disagree with you. So yeah, it was just a wake up call, kind of put you back on your P's and Q's. Is that wrong?
Well, coming from Inglewood, that's not. I probably done had my car shot up hundreds of times. So, and been shot twice and been shot at. So I know it's real, right? And now I've never known that, doing the good things and fighting and advocating for our community, um, where I'm talking about black issues and black people, that I've had more death threats from black people calling my phone, and I never take it serious because I'm not worried about nobody, right? In that sense, because I signed up for this, right? I signed up to deal with the ignorance of black people. And I'm telling you, I'm saying that Charlie Kirk can say it. I signed up to deal with that. This is the hardest people because of our social and our slave mentality and the conditioning that we've had, not necessarily any fault of our own, that trying to raise us in a dead state with our resources, trying to deal with us around institutions and systems of government that has ideologies and concepts that pump into our people heads all the time. So anytime you push against that tool that has allowed them to eat off, I call them 501c3 pimps, that has allowed them to eat off the death and the disinvestment of our communities, you're gonna have people who hate the fact that you called them out. You get on it, you got a platform to call them out. And how dare you? Who are you to say anything about these individuals who we have made socialites? We have made our politicians, bro. And I listen to these people who worship Democratic parties, Republican Party, and it's no we the people. The very notion that a civilian could be murdered, and the way I used to not take it serious, and people say, "Man, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z," and I give them my address and say, "I'm right here waiting on you. Hurry up! What you taking so long for?" I don't just take it as conversation now. I'm looking at it and I watch how we black people have laughed at. They laughed at in the comments that they made. Forget this man has a wife. Forget this man has children. And these most of the people calling themselves Christians. Forget all about that, right? They that to see that happen in broad daylight, in broad sight, when you can, me, man, I'm charismatic enough to go make me some money, bro, and do some other stuff. But we choose to do this and choose to bring awareness, choose to make the world better, man. And and I've always knew that there's no such thing as free speech. You can say what you want. A man can cut his penis off and say he a woman. That's more acceptable than me saying I'm a Republican. It's like you can say no. You can talk. Hey, Jay, that's why you laugh, because that is real. You can go against biology and say many things, but because a particular group is pushing narratives, everybody can be heterophobic, but you might not be homophobic. You understand? So I'm just expanding on it, Jed. I understanding where we at. I know where we at. I'm happy that I'm fearless, but I'm also concerned and worried that um the world don't want freedom fighters. The world don't want strong black men or strong white men for that matter, or strong women to really speak up. Because Candace Owens get it too. She get it too, and she's a black woman who's choosing to be a certain way for herself. But I just hope that we get to a point where we can really have free speech because we're not a United States of America. No states are united. Counties and towns, counties and wards are not united. So we a lie. It's a lie in the whole inception of everything. Ain't no such thing as the United States of America because it's fractured even on the blocks, on the sets and the clicks. Um, uh,
Have it made any impact on how you live your life, Shelby?
Say that once again.
In the wake of this assassination, has it made an impact on how you live your life as a vocal person and how you maneuver?
Honestly, no, because as a black female, I watch my back constantly. As a just a woman, I watch my back constantly. And for whoever's with me, I watch my back for them. So no, I don't necessarily move differently because this is a dangerous place. It's a dangerous world. We're here in the middle of the city of Chicago, and there are parts of Chicago that are really nice, and you don't worry. There's other parts where you have to look over your shoulder. That's just reality. So, in the wake of this, I always feel worried that I can be harmed by somebody that looks like me. I can also be harmed when I get pulled over by the police. I can be harmed from somebody that has conceal and carry and they just feel threatened all of a sudden because I'm in presence. So I don't really feel like I'm moving any differently than I did yesterday just because of Charlie Kirk. I'm going to be still moving cautiously regardless.
319-527-2093. We've covered a lot of issues. The phone lines are open to hear from the audience. And we literally have been so fortunate so far that Stanley has given again, Yashonda and James giving us what we needed to give Trish $50. We've also been fortunate that Stanley gave again, and we now have Stanley and Cindy who've given us enough money to bless Stringer Harris. Stringer, we sent that to you. Hope you received it. Shelby, we sent that to you. Hope you received it. And then Stanley sent $10 again. Stanley, Tasha, Michelle, and Shy Vegas sent us enough to contribute to keep price. And now the only person that has nothing is you, Tyrone. Hopefully it'll happen. If not, you just you got to
I
figure
mean,
it
if
out. But with that being said, Stringer. With that being said, has this assassination has it changed the way you move in society?
Um, can you guys hear me okay? You can hear me okay?
We hear you. We so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's not just this assassination. I think
Yeah.
every
Never
killing that
mind.
happens.
Never mind. We can't hear you.
You're breaking up bad.
Terribly.
Yeah.
You going?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to work on that. You're going to work on that. 5011. While you working on that, you got the floor. We can hear you, Stringer.
What up, y'all, Jed? Wow. Well, everybody talking about I work for INA now. What up, Tyrone?
It's a great place to work.
I see we got you at.
hey,
It's a great place to work. Trust me. But
Hello, Trina.
everybody knows this voice. Okay, brace for impact. Trina, don't.
Tyrone, you run for U.S. Senate?
absolutely. The best candidate for the job. Absolutely. Who else better than me?
You running independent?
Independent, the only way to run.
Hell yeah, I got you.
I'll pray for you, Tyrone. So with that being said,
Can you
do
hear me?
you have anything you wanted to add to this conversation, Ms. Down?
Yeah, nigga, where that money you was talking about you want to donate to me? Where that money?
It's close. It's close. I'm sorry
Where that money at?
to the audience who may come into this space not knowing who anybody is. This is a very colorful community. I'm gonna say advocate Trina Downs from the village of Dalton. Bear with us as we navigate this space. Trina, do you have any comment about the topic of
Yeah,
Charlie
if you
Kirk?
don't give me my money, Tyrone, bring me one of them tote bags with them bricks in it. He want to play about this money. Tyrone.
Hey, I like bringing bricks.
He playing about that money. Boy,
What you got?
Sunday.
What you
The
going?
church doors is still open. They pay your tags, Jen, okay? I need you to pay them tags.
Trina, do you have any comment about the topic?
She hung up.
I'm not sure.
She did, sounds like.
I don't.
She told you to pay them ties, Jen.
And she hung up. So I guess that was a mic drop. Okay, hold on. Let me look at the phone lines. I don't know. Is there anybody else on there? 319
Can you hear me?
319-527-2093.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you, Stringer. Has it changed how you are moving at all?
I think every time I hear about somebody that looks like me that is murdered, killed, whatever, it makes me change up. Um, and I will continue to change up. And you know, it's when people talk about this assassination and they talk about the things that he spoke about. I bring up I bring up Martin Luther King, and I bring him up and I ask the question. I say, well, he really spoke about love and love everybody, and extend that olive branch. And he was assassinated. It don't matter what rhetoric you give, or it's under anyone's interpretation on how they're going to take what you say. I don't care how nice you put it. I don't care how how you want to phrase it. People are going to have their own interpretation. Like we have conversations about the Bible with different people all the time because of their interpretation of it. So um seeing Charlie Kirk die for his his opinions, his beliefs, whatever it is, um, it's frightful. Um, it is. Do I switch up? Yes, but as we all are believers of God, I think I don't have a spirit of fear, but a sound mind. So um, I continue to look to my heels. So that's my answer.
And at the conclusion of every single one of you all speaking, it has been a complete honor to have all of you all make a sacrifice and be here tonight. And I want to talk to my panel, to my audience. We just was able to bless every single one of them with $50. Yolanda, James, and Felicia, thank you collectively because you all helped us to have what we need to send to Mr. Tyrone Muhammad to your personal capacity. Um, but I do want to say this, and then I'm going to get off of here, um, unless we get a caller. So I'm asking that the panel stay here because y'all all on payroll right now. I'm just playing. To the before I say it, let's see what 4391 has to say. I didn't see you sitting there. Welcome to the call.
That's all right, Jedediah. This is Brother Stan.
Stanley, you done gave to a lot of people tonight. Definitely want to hear from you. What is your thoughts on tonight's show?
Hey, great panel, first of all. I joined a little bit late because I was out of the country and we got home finally. I think what happened kind of makes me look at things a little different. I understand Shelby's thing about, always keeping an eye out on that. I do anyway because I suffer with I'm always like my head is always on the circle. But then after seeing this, how what it is was, and you realize that you have to be walking on a street, maybe I never did that over the years. Like I told you, I worked in the paramedic in Chicago for a while, and just
Definitely makes you appreciate it more.
And I got to say, that was a great speech you did last night in Phoenix. So,
Thank you, Stanley. So, how do you feel that this about the Charlie Kirk situation and conversation? What is your perspective?
about what?
Charlie Kirk and the way America is.
I may not have agreed with a lot of things that he said, but the way he brought it across, I understood where he was coming from, and he did put God in the Bible and a lot of stuff that he did. So it wasn't like he was just, flying off the handle, just saying stuff. I mean, he was pretty, my wife just said, he was never really disrespectful in my opinion. Have he said some things that probably should have been said? Yeah, probably. Like I said, I didn't agree with everything the guy did say, but I watched him regularly, and he was a great debater. I still, and again, coming back from my military background, I don't want people to be mad at me for this, but I don't think he should have been flown on Air Force Two. Just my personal opinion. That's for dignitaries, and they're talking about having him in the rotunda at the Capitol building. I don't think that's proper or appropriate. You got, Medal of Valor, you got Purple Heart recipients, things like that. They never get that opportunity. And like I said, I can't get my thought process, but he was definitely put on a high pedestal right now. Don't get me wrong, it was horrible. It's horrible for his family. Not like never had that, but that video is out there forever now. But I'm in the old school where, you do things proper in the government. And like I told you about the National Guard when they were talking about sending it to Chicago. That's not what it was designed for. I think it's overstepping in the government overstepping period. And I think, again, this is another one of the things. I don't think it's going to happen. So,
I thank you so much for your perspective as well as for being very generous to our panelists tonight, as well as for your selfless service that you are now giving to for the culture. I'm honored to know you and to work alongside you, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Okay, Stan?
All right, you take care. Everybody take care. Great job tonight. You too. Thank you.
You too.
I want to take my 30 seconds and then I want to get off of here. I thought that this panel was very dynamic. And when I mean get off of here is I want our panelists to have the final word. But I think, and at that moment, we close the phone lines. I want to thank our, and I do need to say this for the interest of transparency. Somebody just gave, and her name is Denise. She gave to Tyrone, for Tyrone specifically. That will cause this to be an unequitable broadcast because I mean you will get 25 more than everybody else. And so I'm gonna have to think about how to do this.
Take my talent and you're gonna do DI on me. So what you gonna do? So what you gonna do then? See, this is why Charlie Kirk is right. See, you can't.
Hold on, I got to get my time. Give me my time, Tyrone.
Put a name on that.
Tyrone, get my time. With that being said, let me be very clear here. I gotta, in order to be real and authentic, I gotta be honest. And I just realized a mistake that I made because I was no longer listening to the offense, but I thank God for the balance of the panel. When I now listen to the comment again that Charlie Kirk said about the brain processing power, he wasn't speaking about all Black women. He was speaking about those specific Black women, and he was relating it to whatever work they were doing. I heard that when I listened again. And that is why it's important not to listen through the sounds of offense, but to actually try to figure out who a person is when they're making the comment. However, as a black man, I don't give it a pass because he is out of order for speaking to those black women like that and trying to put them in the box based on how he may personally feel. And it is dangerous for him with the type of audience that he had to speak like that because it had the potential of creating harm, even if it was good intended. But that is not something that is isolated to Charlie Kirk because I do it all the time. And I find myself misunderstood when my conversation is taken out of context. What is my point? My point is that the judgment of Charlie Kirk is not in my hands. That's up to God. And what I wanted to tell all of our panel, no matter where you lie on the or where you fall on the issue, thank you. Because I'm not worried about if Charlie Kirk was a racist, but racism exists in America. But one thing that I saw today that I didn't expect was to watch three black men say basically that they agreed with those talking points. And when I saw that, it struck me as very weird in one sense, but it also spoke to something that I'm familiar with in another. To the Democrats, we're sick and tired of the spin. The fear mongering is not going to work, and we are not going to sit by while, and these are my opinions, you now throw us away and try to champion another community because we know who you really are. To the Republicans, we are trying to tell you that no matter what history said, we don't know what to do as it relates to you because it seems a little bit too much, too fast, too hard. As I did listen to this panel, I think that we are all clear that those people who hear look at the world from a different lens because these are the people who show up in the pain. So we tired. We see it from a whole different perspective. When you got your life and you working and you partying and you got your routine, you're gonna feel different from a person that whenever there's a murder or a shooting, they're called and they respond. And we don't want to hear that crime is down. We want to see some relief because we're tired of responding to murder. And this is the problem. And that's why today I wanted to ultimately try to leave my voice out of the conversation. America, we're getting it wrong. We're picking sides and we're not choosing to have the critical conversation. And the worst part of it is that anybody who don't agree with us or think like us, we attack them. That is what's making this bad. We shouldn't stop talking because when we stop talking, we stop being diverse. When we stop being diverse, we stop being as great as America actually is. But that's when we become violent. And when we become violent against ourselves, a house divided against itself will not stand. And I've already made my decision. I am divorcing vote blue no matter who, because it has not served me well. Consider me an independent thinker. I'm voting policy and I'm voting for the person who speaks to me. With that being said, panel, I couldn't have thought of a greater panel to speak to tonight. You all have even helped me today as a host. Trish Daniels, you got 60 seconds for your final comment. And after you, we're going to go directly to Keith Price.
Jedediah, I met you in a police station. I believe in you. I am so honored to be part of this. It makes me believe in you even more because we did have, we do have differing opinions, but I respect you and you respect me, and I do respect everyone. I do try to. So thank you all for listening to my views.
Thank you, Trish, for being a part of it, Mr. Keith Price. And Trish, you have a great night.
First of all, I want to thank you for having me on the show. I want to thank everybody else that's here. Shell, Brother Muhammad, Stringer, the young lady that I just met today. Can't pull her name off the top of my head. She just spoke. But this for me was, like I said, it was really a wake-up call. The amount of death threats that I used to get just for standing with Tiffany is crazy. I got them in my inbox from Colorado, from different states. But it made me take them a little more serious. Sometimes you just feel like, oh yeah, whatever. Like Brother Tyrone said, do what you're gonna do, whatever. But some of these people may literally just do it. So it kind of woke me up a little bit from that. Now I'll show you, Jay, some of the death threats. But when it came to Mr. Kirk, this is not somebody that I just heard of. This is somebody I always was listening to. I love the way he debated. I really like the fact that he could pull out so much knowledge, and then it'll make me have to go look up, like, was he really telling the truth on the topics? But you know how some people just jump on the bandwagon, like, oh yeah, I like Young Dolph after he got killed. No, this was somebody, like, I was listening to Young Dolph before he died. I was listening to Kirk before he died, or before he was assassinated. Both of them was assassinated. But I just appreciate everybody on the panel. I wish everybody the best, man, and I look forward to more of these type of conversations, brother. Thank you, sir. We'll go to Shelby.
I also want to thank you for having me on here. I want to thank everybody on the panel that was on here with me. I respect you all highly. And one thing I want to impart is that we need to continue to have these same conversations, no matter who is with across the aisle. I think that so many people are so afraid to be labeled in this society that they won't speak. Everybody is more concerned with the offense of being called a racist or labeled a racist than doing the work and asking the questions to find out that maybe you're not necessarily a racist, but you're saying something offensive or something that can be taken offensive, and can you change that? And without those conversations, we can never move forward. If you're too worried about what you're being labeled versus my feelings or the gentleman on the panel or the young lady that spoke earlier, then you're doing it wrong. You need to have conversations and speak in order for us to all become one, because at the end of the day, we don't die Democrat or Republican. We don't live Democrat or Republican. We just live. And in order to live, we got to live with each other. That's all I have to say.
Stringer.
Thank you again for having me here. Thank you to the panel as well. Um, I think Charlie Kirk, at the end of the day, was a great debater, and I don't think it's only a few debaters. And again, whatever thoughts and views you have of him, he was a great debater. I think KP said it earlier. He can debate about anything, and the intellectual thought process and uh, uh, the thought process that he had was amazing, because you sit him in a room with college students for 30 seconds or even longer, he will debate with you on any subject and any topic. And at the end of the day, I love watching him debate. That's it. Like, he wasn't like, I think that's the part where people got to understand. Like, yeah, he was political, but he was more a debater. He'd debate you about whatever, you know. And that's what I'm going to miss about watching him. Even if, again, I didn't like some of the things that he said, you can't deny that he was a great debater. Just to kind of pivot real quick, I probably got 15 seconds left. I would love to see us. I just had a conversation, and Tyrone mentioned it earlier. It's a ton of churches in the city of Chicago. In every church that you pass, if you look next door, it looks horrible. And the question is why? The question is why? Also, I noticed that every big march that we have, it's led by a white man. And I'd be like, yo, why? Why is one of the largest marches on the streets of Inglewood led by a white man? We as leaders, us panels, Shelby, us, we have to find a way to take that throne and be leaders in our own communities, because that's the only way we're going to strive. That person, that man, he doesn't live in our community. He can't. I don't care about how you hang with black folks or they go to your church. You will never understand what it feels like to be a black woman in Chicago or the world, or even a black man in the world. So that's just my thoughts. Thanks.
Mr. Muhammad.
Once again, Jed, thank you for this opportunity, and congratulations and thank you to everybody that's on the panel. You know, when I see stuff like that, it's like perpetual discrimination that we as formerly incarcerated people feel all the time. No matter how many thousands of shootings I've been able to stop, no matter how many 500 ex felons I've put to work, no matter how I show up to protect black women, no matter how much I do in terms of opening businesses and putting black people, mostly women, to work, your opinion or your thoughts become the focus more than your actions. Here's a man who did a lot of talking. A lot of people are like that. They do a lot of talking, but they don't produce nothing for the communities. I've witnessed and openly witnessed people just because of my ex, and that's a perpetual letter, a scarlet letter, that my community violate me more for that than white folks. And I'm saying all that to say that here we talking about a man that's assassinated or who's seen a certain way because of opinions, views, but yet we experience a lot of assassination every day in these communities, and it doesn't get the same attention, it doesn't get the same push and gathering of crowds and masses for the 200 or 300, 400, 600 black boys and girls that's murdered in Chicago every day. This is why I can't take these parties serious. Because if you have no pushback against the murder, except that we don't send the military, opposed to what alternative means. If you're saying don't send the military, what alternative means do you think to produce, JB, Mayor Brandon? What are y'all gonna do? You just can't have rhetoric and talking processes, man. Be talking. These people are talking, bro. They talking, Jed. People dying for talking. At least I can respect the Malcolms, the Fred Hamptons, them with the food program. I can respect people who actually died, bro, for actually putting in work. I'm serious, man. And I'm seeing too much of this. We just caught up in rhetoric and not actually looking towards how we fix a problem and the solution to that problem. So with that being said, man, listen, that's why I'm running for United States Senate. Because I want to be, I know for a fact that y'all gonna go in, y'all can't knock on Juliana Stratton door. Y'all ain't gonna knock on Rajah's door. You ain't gonna knock on Robin Kelly's door or whoever. You know for sure Tyrone gonna say, "Thus said the Lord," and you know for sure you gonna walk in that Capitol with me and can knock on my door and make sure, because it will not be anything going to anybody if it don't go to us first. See, that's what we at right here. Now, ultimately, it's political. There, it is political. That's why we talking. That's what his murder is a political statement. And I guess the organization after his murder would be a political statement that those white kids are going to create. Because they just created a whole model. While we sitting around here talking, we about to be trying to educate our young black people on politics and policies and how that we get them stirred up and motivated. We hit some college campuses. We get our black HBCUs stirred up and motivated, other than seeing them dancing in lines and stuff and popping fans. I want to see y'all talking how we fix our community. So with that, man, I close, man. You know me, I'm passionate. I got the spirit of my ancestors and my freedom fighters in me. So I ain't gonna ever lose that, no matter what.
Wow, what a wonderful spirited conversation. Since you've been talking, looks like Fulton Township trustee Mary Avant sent you $50 more.
Man, send my money, man, before I do something to you.
And she said, and she said $50 also additionally to Stringer. I said that I was giving y'all $50. I also said
You don't dictate. See, this is
when I
democracy.
finish
This
talking on
is
my show, when I
democracy.
talk on my show, we literally are going to make sure that we respect all our guests forever. But I am mandated to give you this, and so it does create a little bit of inequity. But
It says who?
because you everybody's supposed to get $50.
But you can't tell a citizen
I,
that's private.
they,
You
they,
can't tell a
they
private
should have
citizen what to do with their
then they
money
should
or
have
their
gave
vote.
it to you. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it to you. But now I got to figure out how to make it equal for all my guests. Nobody.
No. It don't have to be equal. Some kids can't read, and they don't deserve the extra piece of cookie. You wrong. They get a trophy, bro. They all can't get a trophy. Some people
What
can't play.
are you saying?
I'm only at using an analogy to say you doing the very thing that you doing the very thing that they speak
The
about.
Bible said.
The
Now
Bible said
I'm
what?
not going to go to the Bible. The Bible talked about no matter when you enter the field, you get the same pay.
No. The Bible don't tell you about the strangers that come up and give. You can't tell them where to put theirs.
Yeah, exactly. Because you ain't
You
got
can't
no
tell me where to put my vote. Y'all
around
know really I don't care.
about that, brother.
I'm going back and forth, y'all. I don't want them to miscue. I don't care about no
We love each.
money.
We argue. I argue with
I-
all these people all the time. We love each other, and this is try Tyrone. I want to be very clear here. I am very much so. Can I say this about? I want to say this about you, and then I'm gonna get off of here for real. Same thing about Keith Price. When I don't think that people know that I was a young man. I don't know how old I was. I know I was young, and I know that I felt very overwhelmed with what was going on in Chicago. I looked up one day. You were standing in a full suit supporting Teal Hardeman, who was running for governor. I don't remember what I did, but I was behind the stage with you, and you came and you spoke to me as a man when most people was a little nervous about me because I was radical. And I watched you serve that campaign with no paycheck, came coming right out of jail. And I remember seeing your frustration. I remember the days when you were angry. I remember the times when you wanted to give up but didn't. And me and you talked a lot because we were angry with the things we were seeing behind the scenes that nobody else knew about. And for me to see people disrespect you when you are the only, I used to tell you, you're the only person that I ever seen come out of jail and create a movement where there were vehicles, personnel, and facilities. And for anybody to ever disrespect you in Chicago, it upsets me because I remember where you started. And I want to tell you that I'm so damn honored to see you run for Senate. And I'm rooting for you 100%. And even though I don't always agree with you, I will never disrespect you because I know what you're really about. Same thing to you, Mr. Keith Price. I was a young man. And I think that my fight comes because I saw a man do what nobody else would do. And you stood up to everybody. You was not worried about popularity. And you also was not even in the city of Chicago, but you took out time to make sure that us young advocates knew how to fill out paperwork so that we wouldn't just be marching around buildings. And it is because of your investment in us as it relates to knowledge. I stopped marching and I started being effective. People just don't understand it. And you have been dishonored because you've done the one thing that we always talk about doing, and that was be loyal to a fault. And I will never dishonor you, and I will never accept it. I will never agree with it. And I love both of you brothers for who you are. Stringer Harris, there are no words. You stand on your own words. You're not looking for a popularity contest. You do not mind standing on your own. I didn't even mean to do this. You know, when you start, you got to finish it, but it's all true. When everybody else was trying to make it trendy to try to come against me, you said, I never seen the Jedediah y'all are talking about. And I may not agree with all of his methods, but you said I will never not be a brother to a person on the front lines. And when I came around your movement that you were organizing, you were never my competition. You understood that we were amplification for each other, and me and you ain't never fell out. Even if we agree, if we don't agree, people never know it because when we fight for our community, we do it focused, and when we fight each other, we do it behind the scenes. Shelby, I'm damn proud of you, black, educated woman. You are one of my thorns because you don't move by fanfare. You move by your conviction, what you believe. And people don't understand that you always got something to say and you always challenging our systems. But I understand it because only a fool would want yes men around them. I don't want leaders to be around me that want me to feel good and they can't speak their own mind. And I want you to know that you are the definition of what it means to have somebody in your camp that cares for you because of where they see you, where you can go, and not because of where you are. You sharpen me. Iron sharpens iron. But today you held your own. You stood on your laurels. And I'm pretty sure that those individuals who needed a voice in this comment section that heard these men give their point, they felt validated and vindicated and heard because you spoke. And even though it wasn't what they were saying, it was clear, it was articulate, it was actually factual, and damn it, it was inspiring. Trish Dances, you the white lady of the crowd. We working, we love each other, then we don't. I'm gonna tell you this: when it wasn't popular and when it wasn't easy, you did something very strong and sacrificial. You showed up to see about the little black man who had come into Flint disrupting your time. Can you hear me, Trish? She got me.
Yes, I hear you.
And I want to tell you this, that the jury has deliberated if you are genuine or not. But I'm gonna tell you this: I see a superstar in you, and I see a gem in you. No matter if we agree or not, I can tell that you love your community and you love people, even if you don't always speak to a way that I understand. I can hear your heartbeat, and I want you to know that I appreciate who you are, and you have also made it easier for me to get past my offense, because I would not think that you were racist or hateful. Even though I was offended, I had to consider that you believed him, and because I went to go see why, I still may think that he's racist. However, I'm researching it, but it's because of people like you, and I thank you for that. All right, that's everybody. Get off my screen, y'all. Love y'all. Take that $50 and do what the hell you want to do. Well, Tyrone, you got like 100 or 200 like that. But everybody,
Man,
take your $50, do the best you can.
I'm about to buy 12 packs of cut water.
Cut water.
Don't worry about it. We'll talk offline. We'll talk
Cut
offline.
water.
Don't worry about it,
It's
bro. We'll talk
alcohol.
offline. No,
Oh,
Shelby, don't. We'll talk offline. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
tomorrow's panel, we're supposed to possibly be discussing America's place with this Israel and Palestine war. We have two people from the Palestinian community who I'm hoping will not be afraid and come up, but they are somewhat fearful of speaking. And then we have two people who are pro-Israel stance as it relates to dealing with Hamas. Tomorrow, that is what we're projected to be talking about. But this is the new track I'm on. It's time to get back to work, to have tough conversations, and to get good at doing it, and to take this from the computer screen across this nation. Mr. Keith Price is now the political czar for the culture. I wasn't going to say it before, but I think that this is a great time. We are building something that we hope will make a difference and an impact in this country. And I'm formally announcing that our new CEO, acting CEO, will be none other than, why did my mind just draw a blank? What's our CEO's
Don't
name?
announce it yet. Don't announce it yet.
Maybe that was what it was supposed to do, because Keith, don't get
We'll keep that private for now.
fall off the screen. Keith, we still love you, Kiki.
He at least he got to have that for at least a month. Kiki.
Yeah, I ain't letting that go. That's Kiki. Thank you, Trish, for renaming.
Yo, that's Kiki from now on.
Yeah, that's Kiki. But he definitely shot fires at me. Fire shots at me. All right, y'all. I'm going to let you all go. Thank you for your time. Hope something was said to add value to your life. Good night.
Can I get in on this? I want another one, two. 1, 2. Oh, you thought it it was through. This was just one assignment, boo. Judge checking with God, getting next instructions. Woo. You need an advocate, reach out, he might be coming.
This young black king needs no introduction. When he shows up, haters hate seeing him coming.
And no, he's not Malcolm, he's not Martin either. He got his own style.
Ja-da-da-ya, we see ya. This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
And when he comes through, you know they coming too. Hey yo, INA, where you at? What it do? They got receipts, they got them files. They gone investigate an advocate, holding it down.
And when it comes to intel, you know they showing out. You're smiling in Jed's face.
Hold up, check that file. Don't run up on them either, they always in the crowd. INA got his back, you don't know when they around.
This crew, they not looking for the credit. Advocates on the move. This crew, shifting the atmosphere. Advocates on the move.
And then there's Jed's mother, you know she gon' speak. She praying for the people, prophesying what she see.
Jed, God got you covered, he's holding you down. He's showing you his favor, his mercy, his power.
So always stay humble, give God your best. Remember you're a man